Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta athletics. I'm Peter Schuler, and today on Cuesta Sports Monthly, we will focus on two of our spring sports, Cuesta's track and field, that began in 1971, and women's wrestling, which is in its first official year. Just before we leave, we will take some time and meet with Cuesta Athletic Director, Bob Mariucci. So welcome our first two guests from track and field. We have Aiden and Samantha. So Samantha, track and field's going on pretty well now. You guys just got done with a big meet. You're getting ready for the championship levels now. How are you feeling about the season so far?
I think this season has been going great. This is actually my second year here at Cuesta and running for Cuesta. And in comparison to last year, I think that this year personally for myself is going better, and I'm seeing better results. But we just have such a wonderful team. All of our teammates, we all get along so well, and it's fun to see other people excel in what they've been working so hard towards for the season.
Now, Aiden, you're kind of a distance guy. In cross country, you're off in the fields wandering around. Now you're here on the track. Well, what's it like being kind of confined to the oval this year?
We still go out and run, do our thing, but I love the oval. Oval's great.
You're safe in the confines of the...
Of course, yeah. I get to show off my speed. Still get to do the distance, though. It's really great.
Now, we've kind of got a lot of the team's doing really well this year. What are the team dynamics like? I mean, you have throwers, you have men, you have women, you have people who are runners, jumpers. How do you guys all kind of get together and just put together with the team?
Like meets, practices, like we'll all connect together. We support each other, lift each other up during the meets, bad meets, great meets. Especially going into championship season right now. This is when we need to come together, be really tough against each other, and just lift each other up.
You guys make a conscious effort to go out and go see the throwers come back and watch the pole vaulters, we only have one pole vaulter this year, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you guys actually, is that kind of you kind of have that team thing where everybody just kind of follows and cheers on everybody?
Yeah, definitely. I think that our team, especially this year, is just doing such a good job at attending to every event that's going on throughout the meet, even if their event is stressing them out or they have a couple events that they need to do. Everyone is just going to cheer on throws if they're in sprints and vice versa. So yeah, it's been good to see that.
Now, you guys are getting ready for regionals coming up now. Conference and regionals, the whole championship thing here. So the team gets smaller everything. Do you have any particular goals for your season coming up? PRs you want to hit or something like that?
Well, last year was kind of just like a feeler year. Just fresh out of high school, I thought, let's just run track and see how it goes. But this year, I feel I actually have goals, and one of them is for the 400 hurdles. I just want to keep docking my time and hopefully qualify for state, because that would be amazing. But yeah, I've been consistently dropping my time, so that's been nice. But I think just qualifying for state is the main goal.
Well, earlier this season, you've already made the top 10 early in the season for Cuesta all time. We kind of keep those records there. What was kind of your feeling when did you get to see that and go, hey, I did, or have you been targeting some of those people up there on the all-time greats? Were you targeting them?
Well, I think when I felt that I was consistently dropping my time and saw the rankings change a little bit, I just saw it as such motivation, and that maybe I could actually excel throughout the season and make it to the championship meets. So I think that was just what made me okay, I have a goal, I want to get there. So yeah.
Now you're a part of a small but elite hurdling group right now. How does that competition work between your teammates? And
it's been great. We had two girls last year that didn't hurdle, and now they're doing the heptathlon, and that's Mia and Christy, and they're doing amazing in hurdles. They're just kicking butt, and they weren't practicing as much in hurdles as the core hurdlers were. So to see them excel as much as we are, it's like, wow, they're doing good. No, they're doing good. And then Riley, she is a freshman this year, and she came on the team, and she's just doing amazing. She's in the top 10 for the 100 hurdles, so she's gonna excel pretty far into season. And then Natalie's doing great as well. Her and I hurdled together last year, so yeah, we're kind of in the same spot. We just want to get to state this year. Yeah.
Now, and you guys, we have along with you with the rest of the district group, we have these defending state champion. Western Grinnell's. What's it like when you guys are all working together and you got this guy who's like, oh, okay, he's won 3 state championships?
It's really amazing.
You have to keep him humble?
He's pretty humble himself. He really keeps it, he doesn't brag about it. He's not like super out there like showing off, flashing his accomplishments. He's very humble. He's a great guy to be around too. He really lifts the team up. And when I first got here, I was really motivated, and he really pushed me to get to where I am today, especially. After some bad races, I didn't have a great state race. He was there for me after this past cross-country season. And then also now, I just made it into the top 15 for the 8 and the 15 for conference. And he's really supportive about that. Like, he congratulated me as like we were looking at it together. He congratulated me. And I'm super appreciative for everything he's done for me and for the team.
So I mean, so you guys are talking about the support within the team, with the overall team, but you also are getting a lot of support within just the group of Harriers. I like that's the word for long distance runners. But so you guys, everybody's kind of, is that kind of the atmosphere out there? Everybody is pulling for everybody the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Completely. It feels 100% like a team effort. Yeah, so that's a nice feeling to have going into every meet.
Now, do you guys have any kind of like team rituals before a game, before a meet or something like that, or just even though, because you guys do split up the team sometimes, so is that kind of like, doesn't affect the camaraderie at all?
I don't think it affects the camaraderie. I personally have my own rituals that I do before each race, but especially during cross country, we all huddled up, got together, arms around each other. Weston gave us a prayer before each race. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. Well, one of the things with hurdles and stuff like that, I mean, Aiden doesn't have to worry about those so much. In cross country, he had to worry about those things. But what kind of things do you do? I mean, when you clip a hurdle or do something like that, what's kind of your mindset after that?
Well,
do you clear it and go, or just?
You just got to clear it and go. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's kind of like, for the 100 hurdles, it's a make it or break it, because one mess up and, I mean, you're almost out of the race, essentially. But if you clip a hurdle, you have to keep going if it's not taking you out into a different lane. And I think that it's all of us that are girls that hurdle. And it's kind of like a girlhood with it as well, because I feel that we're all just close as it is already, and then we have something to bond over with hurdles and stuff, so that's nice. But I don't think any of us really have clipped any hurdles really bad this year or anything. We're all pretty solid.
All right. Well, that does it for track and field. They're getting ready for their conference regionals and the state meet coming up. So we'd like to thank Samantha Duran and Aiden Gibson for joining us here at Cuesta College Sports Monthly, and we wish them the best of the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communication. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't get the boom in the shot. Float it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
We're back on campus with Cuesta Athletics' newest varsity sport, women's wrestling. We are joined by All-American Ayten Elbarbary and her teammate Aubree Kooren. And we welcome you guys both to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Welcome back, Ayten. What's been different this year, just being varsity this year? What are some of the changes you've seen?
I would say we're definitely more focused and disciplined as a team. We've gotten, I want to say, 2 to 4 new girls. 2 of them are competing. The other 2 are red shirts. But definitely, I would say the bondings are stronger. I will say Aubree could agree on that as well.
What do you think, Aubree?
Well, it's definitely been different. I can feel a difference in our practices from last year. And even though we're the same size as we were last year, it's definitely more team bonding and just bigger family overall.
Now, do you feel, the varsity stuff get a little bit, well, you guys got a lot of the same perks last year as a club because we were kind of transitioning, but can you feel like being legit now? Does that make a difference to you guys? You guys are on the website. You're getting meal money, all that other stuff.
Yes.
What are kind of some of the changes here as you moved up to that next level?
Well, like you said, the meal money, we've definitely gotten that this year. And definitely more tournaments and more duels, I want to say.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. What else do you think?
Just more competitiveness in the room, more competition, so just higher energy overall.
Now, as you guys are this is still kind of a growing sport. Obviously, it just grew by 1 with us. But what are you kind of seeing for women's wrestling coming along here at the community college level?
What are we seeing?
Yeah, where do you see it going? I mean, are you expecting it to expand quickly, or because the men's team prior to you guys coming in had been kind of shrinking. They're down to about 20, a little over 20 teams. But now with you guys, with this sport blossoming here, I think it could be great for wrestling all the way around. I don't know how you guys see if it's going to be a statewide, the bigger schools getting in.
I've definitely seen the difference from, like, for example, high school. I feel like over the years it's just getting tougher and tougher. The newer girls coming in are coming in like pretty hot, I want to say. So just tougher overall, and it's definitely expanding, especially for women.
Well, you can definitely see in high school too. You can see who started in high school and who started before high school, and now you're getting more girls who are starting in middle school and elementary school, getting to high school, and the level is just completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you had an older sister who wrestled, but Aubree, what was it that got you into wrestling?
My dad, he wrestled in high school, and then my younger brother started wrestling, so I would go help out at all his tournaments, and one day my high school coach saw me and told me to come out, so I just did.
And you just kind of immediately you had brothers and stuff like that, so you were kind of rough and tumble, ready to go.
Yeah, it's always been a part of my family, like my dad and my brother, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool, I'll do it too. And then I started doing it, and it brought me closer to my dad, definitely. And me and my brother still just kind of mess around a lot because he's still little, so we can still wrestle each other.
So you're still winning.
Yes, I'm still winning, and not for long though. He's getting bigger now.
Now, how about you, Ayten? I mean, you kind of you stepped right into this.
Yeah, I also kind of followed my sister's path a little bit. I think I would say I branched out more. She kind of was done by like the first year of college, so I'm a bit ahead of her now. Maybe a little better.
You ever take it outside the lawn or something like that after dinners?
Yeah, but she was the first in my family. We don't really have any history of wrestlers, honestly. We were first gen.
What was your family? If you had a family sport at that point, what would?
Definitely soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, girls and boys. It was soccer.
Now, being official from last year's, what have you guys kind of done on campus and stuff like that, or when you're out in public? Do you go to the high school? And you go to the high school games still, or matches, and kind of do that? do you recruit a little bit? Do you kind of how do you kind of carry the banner for wrestling?
I
when
mean,
you're out in
we
public?
are in the Morbe room occasionally, and we just try to talk to the younger girls, kind of get them to the program. And I mean, they already like kind of look up to us, so I think they already have like their own opinion and path on it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think is you guys are kind of the flagship.
Yeah.
You're the standard bearers, and what do you, I mean, you don't owe it to them, but to help grow your sport, I think that's they're all going to be looking up to you. And like I came to your last matches, and I told another dad from Morro Bay, and we all sat in the stands together and watched you guys wrestle.
Yeah.
So that was it's kind of neat, and that they get stars in their eyes, and they're really excited to see you guys. So I just wanted to see, as kind of like the standard bearers, how do you feel about that? And I mean, your sister was older, but you guys are really the first group at varsity and kind of in high school, probably the same too, where you have your own women's sport where you don't have to wrestle the guys and do all that stuff. So I just kind of want to see how that felt to be pioneers.
I would say it's a little like hard, or you kind of put on the spot. It's like a little pressure, but it's also good because it keeps us pushing and makes us want to prove our name or prove our spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially going back in the room, especially when I go back home and go in my old high school room and they ask me how it is, and they're like, well, I'm thinking about coming, or I'm thinking about going somewhere too because you did it. And it's always like so nice to hear that, and I feel so proud of them for stepping out and trying to do that.
So you're realizing the impact is what you have. Well, what about you guys? You guys are both sophomores. Are you looking to go to another level and wrestle?
For sure.
And are there enough schools in California that have done that at the 4U level?
There's a lot in California.
Okay.
There's a lot in California, yeah.
It's kind of, at least for me personally, it's still up in the air. I definitely do want to compete or go to a 4-year though.
I definitely want to as well.
Okay. And then what? Come back and coach, and what are you going to
do? Not sure about that yet.
Now, wrestling, obviously you guys are working hard, and you guys training all the time, and it's a very physical thing. How do you guys, I kind of had this joke with your coaches, as sometimes we have some of our greatest scholar teams and scholar athletes are wrestlers, and some of the people who are struggling are wrestlers. How do you guys do that class sport balance? How does that affect you?
It is really hard. You want to go?
No, go ahead.
Definitely, because we're both nursing majors, so it's definitely hard to go from like very long labs or very long classes straight to practice. And but if we just put away time to study and put away time to just forget about it and go to practice, it definitely does help. It's kind of like an outlet.
It also helps a little bit with time management. Like you're kind of forced to just put your schedule out there and organize it and know what you're looking for in your day in general. So it's pretty productive,
So you really got to manage everything. Well, you guys are coming up right now. It's going to be one more match and then conference. So I want to wish you both a good luck, and hopefully you get another All-American and stuff. We'd like to thank Ayten, Elbarbary, and Aubree Kooren for coming out to join us here at Cuesta Sports Monthly, and they get ready as they head into their championship schedule. When we see them, we shall check in with them next time we get to Cuesta Sports Monthly.
This program is produced by Cuesta Broadcasting. Start your radio, TV, and film career at Cuesta College.
Welcome back to campus. We are joined by Cuesta Athletic Director Bob Mariucci for our annual State of Athletics discussion. Welcome back, Bob. at least once a year, whether we need to or not. But season's been going great this year.
Yeah, it has. It has. I look at, last year it was a tremendous season, successful, and every year seems to get a little better and so forth. We have some new coaches aboard, and but right now we're in the kind of final stages of our spring sports. So conference play, conference swim meet, a lot of things coming up to determine how far we're going to go with some of our teams.
Yeah, the new sports we were talking about. We got 2 new sports this year. This is the 3rd year of beach volleyball, but we also added women's wrestling. So those are 2 of the newer sports. How do you feel the progress of that? I mean, right now, beach volleyball's been, it's kind of become a fan favorite out there. I mean, when we host those events, everybody kind of likes to hang out by the beach. and then women's wrestling is really, it's a smaller team is getting started, but it seems to be a very strong team.
Yeah. So excited about adding those 2 sports, and I'll say this too now. Like Cuesta College, and we have 17 intercollegiate sports. That's think about that. Like people will say, "Wow, I didn't know you had that many." But so proud of all of them, and then adding those 2 sports has just been tremendous for our women's athletics programs. Beach has been very good, awesome to watch. And I even look at this, even Cal Poly has such good volleyball over there. They have tremendous beach and indoor. I think a little bit that translates, sometimes we might get some new recruits that want to end up going to Cal Poly to play beach volleyball or wherever it might be. And the women's wrestling we added this spring, and I'm just so proud our college decided to do that. I think that's a great thing for our community. Girls wrestling in high school is one of the fastest growing sports in California. And locally, whether it's South County or Santa Maria or North County, the team's girls wrestling is growing rapidly, and so I think that's going to give them an outlet to come and continue their education, number one, and then wrestle for us.
So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it seems wrestling has been a growing sport, but we have had other sports like golf and women's tennis and stuff like that. What was kind of the thing? I mean, beach volleyball seemed pretty fluid to keep our indoor volleyball players going. What was it to bring on the women's team? Why was it?
Yeah.
Instead of restoring a new one, an older sport like tennis or something like that, what was the kind of the thinking behind adding a brand new sport?
That's a great question, because I think the interest lies within our community. There's a big interest for girls wrestling in our community, Morro Bay, Paso, Tascadero, South County. So it's a natural fit for us to offer that sport, which was a tremendous thing to do. You know what I mean? So so proud of that, and that's only going to grow and provide opportunities for those young women in our community. So
now, you as a wrestler, so that's a nice feel for you. Do you feel more comfortable having another group of wrestlers out there? And what do you think is kind of the draw right there for the women's wrestling? I mean, compared to some of the other sports.
I just think you look at the landscape of like college athletics and the Olympics and different sports that are being added, but women's wrestling is an Olympic sport. I mean, just very popular. It's one of the fastest growing sports in America. The one that's adding right now that you think is flag football. Women's flag football is being added by a lot of community colleges. Cal Poly, right? I mean, Cal Poly just added women's flag football. So I don't know if we're that far along yet, but you try to hopefully offer what's of interest in your communities, and I think we do that with Cuesta Athletics, and I'm proud of that. We're offering an outlet for these student athletes to continue their education and compete for us, and so forth.
Now, I just was looking at that because one of the things that we did get out of that was having Joe Dansby coach in the spring, and just similar like we did with Whitney Meyer, our volleyball coach, who also is part-time but coaches in the spring. Is that kind of the idea when you were adding those last 2 sports to kind of give that support to both those coaches too? Because we're kind of looking as we only have of our 17 sports now, only 4 of those coaches are remaining from before the pandemic. So we've had a lot of changes. Is that kind of one of those things that was in your mind when you did that?
Yeah, I would say this.
When we did that?
Yeah. I would say this. Adding those coaches that coach women's volleyball and then beach volleyball, or men's wrestling and then women's in spring. But our coaches in the landscape of athletics, the baseball, softball, I mean, it's a year-round commitment now. I mean, so they have their off season in the fall. So your coaches are working year-round regardless of whether they coach two sports or one sport. Robert Neely's another good example. He coaches men's and women's cross country, men's and women's track. I mean, it's a year-round commitment and a lot of dedication, seriously. But when you hire a good coach and they're successful, that naturally translates to that spring semester. So Whitney has been a great fit, and then Joe will be a great fit for the women's team this year too. So, but you look at sports nowadays, it's a year-round commitment. So,
yeah, I think right now with basketball going over both semesters, I think women's soccer is the only one that doesn't have a matching sport in the spring. Mm-hmm. Is that so? Are we going to get them out of track?
They still have their. In fact, Paige Johnson, our new coach, she was at Cal Poly, and we were fortunate to have her as our women's soccer coach. They started doing non-traditional games this spring, so they're allowed so many contests in the spring, which she's tapped into, and again, keeping the interest of those athletes in the off season, and she's done a tremendous job with that. We had 21 players last year on her team, and that's only going to develop and get stronger as well. So
we were just talking a little bit earlier about some of the changes going around campus here. Still a lot of building going on with the bonds, and talking about maybe what could possibly happen, in the gym, or because of the loss of the old gym and the facilities out there. Do you have any ideas or anything on the wish list out there for us?
Yeah, the facilities are great. We make the best out of it. The wrestling team used to wrestle in the National Guard's, the old Camp San Luis's gym, but they've made it's a pickleball court now, and so we wrestle in our gym. It does get compacted, and sometimes our coaches will say, Bob, it'd be nice to have, in the gym itself, maybe some meeting rooms or locker rooms, but I think our facilities are some of the best in the state. The water polo, the swimming venue is just brand new and so nice, and we really do a good job of, at least making sure they're good facilities, and I'm proud of those too. So, but could there be changes down the road? We can always hope for something, but
yeah, it's just kind of one of those things I saw out there, and then hosting the regional hep deck. There are some people looking for stands to sit in, So I just wanted to see if that was kind of up there. Just for this year, every team's been pretty solid this year. But what do you look for? What do you, as an athletic director, when you look at your teams, what are you defining success for a program?
Well, a lot of times, obviously, you look at the success. Maybe our men's and women's swim teams right now, they're breaking records everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's a positive. And the athletic success is important. But I say this every time and every year. I'm more proud of the academic success we have of our student athletes. I just came from a luncheon last weekend where Haley Halford, one of our former soccer players and softball player, was nominated as one of the top athletes in the state last year. So those types of recognition is really important to me, and I think our coaches, it comes from the top down. Prioritizing the academics and making sure that we promote these student athletes onto the next level. So
student athletes is what it's all about. Thank you very much for joining us, Bob. That concludes today's episode of Cuesta Sports Monthly. We'd like to thank you and thank our guests, Ayten Elbarbary, Aubree Kooren, Aiden Gibson, Samantha Duran, and of course, Bob Mariucci. Remember to stay up to date with your Cuesta. Visit your Cuesta website, cuestaathletics.com. This show is produced at Cuesta College by the Cuesta Film, Television, and Electronic Media Department. I'm Peter Schuler, and for all of us here at Cuesta College, thank you for joining us, and thanks for your support of Cuesta College Athletics.